In the news this week, cars, spaceships, and a metal band, but we begin with Epic Games. Epic's most recent announcement concerns their upcoming title, Paragon, and like most MOBAs, Paragon has put the heroes in the forefront of the game's image, but has done so to the extent that even the earliest released content from the game was just simple animations of a few characters. The latest from Epic is that all of Paragon's heroes will be available to anyone with the game, meaning that you won't have to pay to play with the hero that you like, and while there will still be microtransactions in the game, it is the modern era, after all, they will be purely for cosmetic items. We've all heard that 1,000 times now, so it'll be interesting to see how Epic, 1, defines cosmetic items, and 2, how they handle that approach and try and make it a commercially viable solution while sustaining a good game. Speaking of commercializing, entry to early access for Paragon is at least $20, and this puts Paragon on a similar path to Dota 2, which is really not a bad path to follow. Dota 2 has had the pay-to-play beta periods before, and that was before it became free-to-play, which it is now, and as Paragon is planning to do, all of Dota 2's heroes have been available to everyone, another interesting point in the parallels. While Epic has not announced any plans for Paragon eSports events specifically, Twitch TV and Psyonix have eSports news of their own this week, and that pertains to Rocket League. The Rocket League developers and Amazon-owned live streaming gurus have teamed up to form the Rocket League Championship Series. Beginning March 25th, teams of 3 will be able to register to participate, and the first season will have a prize pool of $75,000, with $55 grand alone going to first place. The initial qualifiers are open to anyone, but only the PC and PS4 versions of the game are immediately supported. This will be the biggest prize pool to date that Rocket League has put forward. From rocket cars to rocket ships, we now move to No Man's Sky. Hello Games' space exploration project ambitiously promises to give players 18 quintillion planets to explore. That's 18 with 18 zeros after it, by the way. This week, pre-orders for No Man's Sky have finally started. Its price is $60 right now, and that's the same as generally any AAA title, except this one is still considered an indie game. That begs the question, of course, how much game is there in 18 quintillion planets? We know there's supposed to be at least partially, if not largely or entirely, procedurally generated, and I'm kind of curious where that 18 quintillion number comes from, maybe a floating point limit or something like that. But the scope of another on-the-way space game, Star Citizen, is bigger, broader, and then again, so is its production, funding, development, and perpetually moving module release dates. Regardless, there are lots of promising space sims and space games on the horizon, with updates still coming to existing titles like Elite, Dangerous, and it's a good time to be a space sim fan. No Man's Sky is definitely worth keeping on the radar. Of course, stay tuned to our own coverage as we look into the game and post our own reviews and things of that nature. The final news item for this week features seminal prog rockers Dream Theater. Don't worry, this is still video game news. To follow up the release of their 13th album, the band has announced a collaboration with developers Turbo Tape Games. Their album, The Astonishing, is set in a dystopian version of the United States and follows a group of rebels against the Great Northern Empire of the Americas. That's some 1984 stuff right there. The game will follow the same conflict and takes the form of a board game style strategy game. There are few details out other than these, but we do know that it will launch in the second quarter of 2016. Somewhat related, Iron Maiden's also got its own mobile game coming out under the guidance of founding member Steve Harris, starring band icon Eddie the Zombie. That's all for this week's game news. Remember to subscribe for more content and check us out on Patreon to support directly. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.